what is going on, everybody? How is everybody doing today? Welcome back here today to a tier list video, and we're basically going to go through every single NFL team and talk about, is the NFL coach of this team on the hot seat or not? Basically running through all 32 teams. We've had some head coaches already let go this season. We have 4 NFL weeks left. Season's almost over, and I'm going to be dropping these guys into 6 different tiers. I think you have a job for life, honestly, if you wanted it to, at least for now. Not even close. They have a pretty good positioning with their team, and they're not going to go anywhere. Fine for now, so I think you'll probably be fine throughout this offseason. But next year, if things teeter a little bit, you could be maybe on the hot seat. Wouldn't totally shock me. So you may think they're fine, but if there was like a surprise firing, yeah, they could be in that bucket, and I wouldn't be 100% shocked. I could be like a little bit shocked, but I definitely could say I saw it coming. And then we have the seat is hot and already gone. Honestly, I think we need to have like the seat is hot at the top. And then, yeah, we'll basically kind of do it in reverse order because that is the goal of this today. So there's been some like reporting from Ian Rappaport that some of these jobs are going to be safe for now. Of the Jets kind of comes in here first. As the Jets this year are 3-11, they've been a more competent team over the last few weeks. The Justin Fields experiment has kind of been an absolute disaster. Aaron Glenn was obviously a first-time head coach coming over as the former defensive coordinator with the Detroit Lions. I feel like there's been some weird press conferences this year from Aaron Glenn. This team traded away Sauce Gardner and Quinnen Williams, so I don't really know what we're expecting out of Aaron Glenn over these final few weeks. I think a lot of things are with these teams that are expected to lose. How like competitive can you look? Are you losing 30-0 in these games? Or hey, are you losing 27-21 and you're making it at least a close game at some point? The Jets are kind of going for that #1 pick at the moment. I don't think Aaron Glenn's seat is hot, but it wouldn't totally shock me. It's his first year. It's not gone well. I think he will be back next year, but if I saw the notification that Aaron Glenn got let go, I'd be like, okay, maybe just this year was the worst case scenario and they're going to look for a completely new head coach. Although the new regime hired Aaron Glenn, so I don't think he's going to be let go, but it wouldn't totally shock me. All right. Let's get into the wouldn't totally shock me as well. Oh man, do I want to put Andy Reid here or here? Because it used to be here and then it got to here and now we're kind of like here. I don't think Andy Reid's seat is hot. It's the first year the Chiefs haven't made the playoffs in over a decade. Patrick Mahomes tore his ACL. You can honestly say it's more so been the front office that has been the downfall of the Chiefs going forward, kind of just being a little bit complacent, saying, oh, we have Patrick Mahomes, things are going to be fine. And then things didn't end up being fine. I think Andy Reid is fine for now. They're not going to fire Andy Reid this year. I don't think they're going to move on in a different direction. I could see Matt Nagy end up like leaving. Travis Kelce could retire at the end of the year. I think there's going to be some notable changes. This team's got to add another lineman or two. They got to add maybe another receiver, another corner, a running back in the offseason, and definitely another edge rusher. I don't think Andy Reid's going to get let go. If they miss the playoffs next year, then we can have that discussion. But I think he's fine for now. This one would actually shock the, like, I don't know. I could see it happening, but I think it would be more so on Andy Reid saying, I want to hang it up. I want to go, kind of like Bruce Arians with the Buccaneers, and then he just goes to like the front office or something like that, which would be interesting because I don't know if they would make Spags the coach, kind of like Todd Bowles in Tampa Bay, or they would look externally for a new head coach in Kansas City. I mean, Ben Johnson, not even close. I don't think he has a job for life, but he has done an exceptional job in his first year with the Bears. They may make the playoffs this year. They're probably going to make the playoffs this year. And Caleb Williams has taken some strides. And I feel like this Bears team is still like a good team on paper, but it's not great. And I think even Ben Johnson is making this team overachieve. And I think as he's building up kind of the chemistry and the continuity with Caleb Williams, he's going to be the guy in there. And they hit an absolute home run with hiring him from their division rival, the Detroit Lions. Next up, we have Brian Callahan. He's already gone. They're going to be looking for a new head coach next year. Cam Ward basically said, I want to be in those meetings with the head coach, which honestly, I respect for sure. He's not going to be the one making the decision, but I think it would be nice to know how your quarterback feels about the new head coach coming in. And yeah, Brian Callahan was kind of a disaster. I mean, the Cincinnati Bengals, since they made it to the Super Bowl, have been falling apart. I don't know if he's a big reason why. Who knows? Maybe he's going to be back in Cincinnati next year. We'll see. But yeah, Brian Callahan is already gone. And I wonder who the Titans' next head coach is going to be. Are they going to go with a DC head coach, a defensive-minded guy, an offensive-minded head guy? Is it going to be an active head coach right now that gets let go and they bring somebody in? Brian Daboll already gone. It looked like there was a chance Mike Kafka could end up being like the interim head coach to the full-time head coach. I don't think he's going to end up getting that role. It wouldn't shock me if Kafka stayed on as the offensive coordinator for the new head coach. It's not the same, but like James Franklin hired the Virginia Tech head coach that got fired to be a coordinator, which is kind of crazy. It's not the same thing here. It'd be like Brian Daboll coming back as the offensive coordinator. You wouldn't see that in the NFL. But yeah, Daboll's already gone. I think we're going to see a new head coach, not Mike Kafka, for the Giants next year. Brian Schottenheimer, I don't think is anything on the line whatsoever. It's the same as Ben Johnson. I know the Cowboys are probably not going to make the playoffs this year, but I would say overall, after trading away Micah Parsons, not really having in expectations where you're locked to be a playoff team, I think Schottenheimer has done a pretty good job this year with basically a non-existent pass rush throughout the first 7 weeks of the season. Then they're able to get some guys back healthy. They trade for Quinnen Williams. I think the Cowboys are going to be a playoff team in 2026. I don't know if that's a hot take or not. And I think the Cowboys have looked good this year. And it feels like Schottenheimer has also been a good culture guy in Dallas as well. You haven't really heard too much dysfunctionality coming out of Dallas this year, even though their season's been a roller coaster at times. They've had some good wins. They've had some bad losses, it feels like. Dan Campbell, I want to say it's a job for life, but I think it's not even close. We're not even thinking about that. I mean, this year is a little bit of a downturn for the Lions. I mean, recently, since he's taken over play calling, I do feel like he's done a hell of a job. I know they've gone on way too many fourth downs. I just don't know how many guys I'm going to put in job for life. I could put him in there, but I'm looking at here, I feel like I'm only going to have maybe 2 to 3 guys, which is maybe what it should be. But yeah, I think Dan Campbell is not even close. He's really turned around this culture in Detroit. They just had a revolving door of head coaches before Dan Campbell as well. I kind of want to put him in job for life, but I feel like that's a little bit extreme. I mean, he hasn't gone to the Super Bowl. They went to the NFC Championship game 2 years ago, almost beat the 49ers. Last year it ended earlier than they thought in the divisional round, losing to the Washington Commanders. I mean, that team was so banged up. They've been banged up again this year, but I don't even think we need to even think about that right now. Dan Quinn, I mean, it wouldn't totally shock me of how much of a disaster this year has been. Once again, it could come back down on the front office and Adam Peters thinking this team was better than it actually was. Just the classic case of overachieving and then you not having to make too many moves, which they should have. The roster got old. They didn't really hit on their playmaking additions, but I think he's fine for now. If the Commanders go under 500 next year or they miss out on the playoffs, then I could see them moving in a different direction. That feels like what the shelf life is for a head coach right now. If you make the playoffs, you kind of have a 2-year wiggle room as long as you don't completely lose the locker room. And I think Dan Quinn is fine. But for now, we're going to see how next year looks, because if it looks more like this year than the 2024 season, then we could see a new head coach in Washington. Dave Canales, I want to say he's not even close. I don't know. He's maybe fine for now. In a way, he's tough because he's in a better spot than Dan Quinn, because the Panthers could win the division this year. I'm not going to sit here and say the Panthers are a good team. Maybe they're an average team, a slightly above average team. It's not the most impressive division crown, whoever wins the NFC South this year, with the way Tampa Bay has looked in Atlanta and New Orleans. I think Canales is a good head coach in this league, though, and he hasn't really been dealt the best hand in the world. I think he's fine for now. I don't think he's going anywhere. He has, I think, the credibility. This year has gone well. And if this team wins the division, I think it can go here. If they miss out on the division and then next year they don't make the playoffs as well, then maybe we see Carolina go in a different direction. But I think Dave Canales is a good head coach in this league, and I think he's gotten a ton out of Bryce Young. Panthers fans, you can let me know if you think it's not even close. Maybe it is. Maybe it is. Maybe I'll throw him in there. D'Amico Ryans, I think it's not even close. I don't think they're going to let go with D'Amico. He almost won the Coach of the Year award in 2023. They made it to the playoffs last year, winning another playoff game. They beat the Browns 2 years ago. Last year, they beat the Chargers, a game nobody was really expecting them to win. And then they even gave the Chiefs a little bit of a tough test. This year, they're rolling as of late with all the injuries on the offense. The offensive line looks like it's becoming a more competent unit versus CJ Stroud. This defense is absolutely elite. I think they've done a phenomenal job drafting. I don't think he's even going to get, I don't know. I think the Texans are going to make the playoffs this year. They're a good team. They could even win a playoff game, maybe 2 this year. Who knows with how wide open the AFC is. I don't think we're anywhere close. I think they're going to make the playoffs. So even if they miss out on the playoffs next year, I think he has at least 2 more years of wiggle room. John Harbaugh, I don't think we're even close there yet. I mean, maybe some Chargers fans are kind of done with the way that he has handled this offense and maybe thinks he's holding it back a little bit. But they brought him in to be the culture changer and have at least some stability there in LA, build up that connection with Justin Herbert, which I think they've done a good job with. I know it could be a little bit better, and I know they lost kind of prematurely, or at least we thought they were going to beat the Texans last year on the road. They don't do that. I don't think we're close. I don't think we're close. I mean, last year, nobody expected them to make the playoffs. They make the playoffs. This year, you lose Joe Alt and Rashawn Slater and you still may make the playoffs. Yeah, I think, I don't think Harbaugh is even close to getting fired. I mean, his brother, though. Did I say John? I meant Jim. Did I say, that's on me. I mean, I want to say that it wouldn't totally shock me, but he's been there so long. So if they actually moved on from Harbaugh, and I'm sure Ravens fans wish they kept their defensive coordinator that left for Seattle a couple years ago in the organization, this one is crazy because the Ravens might win the division. I think he's fine for now. And I think if the Ravens lose the division, even though they've had a bunch of injuries this year, I mean, the Steelers, it's anybody's division for the taking. It's like the NFC South and it's like the AFC North, where it's like, okay, somebody's going to win the division, but nobody's really going to take them seriously in the playoffs. And it does feel like the Ravens have maybe underachieved once again. That can come back down on the front office, not really hitting on playmakers, at least in the receiving game around Lamar Jackson. Maybe that was a Greg Roman thing. Maybe that's a Todd Monken thing. Either way, it does feel like the Ravens have underachieved a little bit in the Lamar Jackson era, given how dynamic Lamar has been. Although last year was a success, 2 years ago was a success as well, at least in the regular season. I think he's fine for now, but I think if they lose the division, we could see him get on the hot seat going forward. All right, our first hot seat guy, Jonathan Gannon here of the Arizona Cardinals. I mean, I don't think they're going to end up firing him, but this year was another kind of disaster, maybe you could say, for the Arizona Cardinals. It feels like it's the end of the Kyler Murray era. They've looked a little bit better with Jacoby Brissett. I mean, Marvin Harrison hasn't really lived up to the hype that he had coming out of Ohio State. They still have some issues on the line. They've kind of been looking for another receiving target, but Michael Wilson has looked really good with Jacoby Brissett. They lose their starting running back, James Conner. I feel like the Cardinals were kind of like the analytics popular pick to be a rising team this year and take a leap and be a breakout team in 2025. And it's kind of just been the opposite. They're going to be picking highly in the NFL draft. It does feel like they're going to have a new head coach. Or they're going to have a new quarterback next year and could very well have a new head coach, maybe a new GM as well. We'll see going forward. Next up, we have Kellen Moore. I guess like I kind of want to put not even close because I think he at least will have one more year of leeway as well. I think the Saints, although they are 4-10, have looked a little bit better as of late with Tyler Shuck running the show. Sure, I want to say we're not even close to even thinking about them moving on. We kind of knew whoever was going to take the Saints job was not going to be part of a good team. And yeah, I think they've overachieved this year. And I think Kellen Moore has made this team look semi-competent with Spencer Rattler and now Tyler Shuck. Kevin O'Connell, not even close. I think last year, like week 16, I'm saying job for life. I mean, I think this is more on Kwesi, the decision maker in Minnesota, than Kevin O'Connell. I think he's the least of their issues, and if he ended up getting fired somehow, like he's getting picked up immediately, he'd go for a first-round pick. He's one of the best offensive minds in the game of football. Him and Dan Campbell feel like they're in a completely different tier. I feel like job for life might be a little extreme, and I do feel like these two are maybe above everybody else in this tier. Kevin Stefanski, the seat is hot for sure. I still think Kevin Stefanski is a good coach in this league and has definitely overachieved with Browns teams in the past. This also could come back down on Andrew Berry and the decision-making the front office has given him. Like it was Joe Flacco, a 5th-round Shedeur Sanders, a day 3 pick in Dylan Gabriel, Kenny Pickett at the start of the year as well. Like, what do you expect him to do? He was good with Joe Flacco a couple years ago. It just feels like they haven't really had the best team. Now, they've had good defenses. Now it feels like they have an RB1 in Quinshon Judkins. The offensive line has been good in the past, but now it feels like it's getting a little bit older. I do feel like we're going to see a new head coach in Cleveland and maybe a more, I don't know, maybe a younger guy if they do end up with like a Fernando Mendoza or a Dante Moore. Like I want to put Kyle Shanahan in job for life just because I do feel like San Francisco will never move on from him, at least for like the next 10 years. Maybe job for life always is going to sound extreme. So I'm going to throw him in the 2030 plus thing where I think if he wanted to coach for at least 5 more years till 2030, he won't be let go. You know what? I'm going to throw, I think, Kevin O'Connell and Dan Campbell in this tier as well. So I think you're at least making it to 2030. And if you have like 2 non-playoff seasons or disastrous seasons, maybe you let go. Maybe I'm overrating Kevin O'Connell a little bit. You can let me know. But JJ McCarthy was always a project. Liam Cohen, not even close. A lot of the first-year guys I think have done well outside maybe Aaron Glenn. Like I think Schottenheimer, Ben Johnson, Kellen Moore, Liam Cohen have all done a solid job with their teams this year. And yeah, Liam Cohen I think has gone maybe the most out of Trevor Lawrence. And definitely Trevor has looked the best since the 2022 season, year number 2, and they lose Travis Hunter. Brian Thomas Jr. has taken a little bit of a step back, and I feel like the Jaguars have at least looked pretty good this year. I mean, this team does have, 10 wins right now? They're 10-4. They have a big game this Sunday. Matt LaFleur, I want to say 20, 30 plus, but there's been some rumors this year that they've kind of been underachieving a little bit. I mean, the Packers are 9-4-1. They can easily win the division. Like, I want to say like it's 20, 30 plus. In my mind, that's what it should be. But there was reports like middle of the year that like, could they move on, which was dumb in the middle of the year. But if we're having that in 2025, could we have those talks in 2027? Like, I don't think so. I think like 20, 30 plus, he will be there for a while. I'm not believing those reports. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe that's me being a little bit naive about his situation, but he's just won in Green Bay with Jordan Love and Aaron Rodgers. Mike McDonald, I kind of want to put 2030 as well. Like, he's still fairly new. Like, I think he was in the same time frame, or he came in last year with Seattle, and they had a good season, but they missed the playoffs. The NFC was tough. I mean, this year he's done a phenomenal job. 12-3. I think like you get a 12-win season and they might win 14 games this year, and they might win the division and beat out a really good Rams team. Like, that was such a massive come behind win, maybe game of the year for the Seahawks to beat the Rams on Thursday. And Sam Darnold still has his flaws, but man, he's looked really good once again. I think Mike McDonald has locked up a job till 2030. I could be wrong. Maybe that's a little bit recency bias, but I think he has that in place. Mike McDaniel, I mean, the seat is hot. The seat is really hot at this point. I kind of want to see what like the next 4 weeks show. Like, if they're getting blown out time and time again, I think he's going to be let go. But if he can be competitive and make Quinn Ewers look like a competent quarterback, I think they'll keep him around going forward. And obviously we know Tua is not going to be the guy for them next year. So I do wonder what his next quarterback would look like. I think he's still such a good offensive minded guy, but he might just be like an elite coordinator in this league and not for the head coach. Mike Tomlin, oh boy. I think it's the same as John Harbaugh. Like, this team would not move on from him. He's just been there too long. They've underachieved for so long. Yeah, they're going to go 9-8, maybe 10-7. I doubt it. I mean, right now, the Pittsburgh Steelers are 8-6. I don't think they beat Detroit in Detroit. They still have to play Baltimore one more time as well. I think if they make the division, it might give them another 2 more years of job security. If they don't win the division, then maybe, like, I would drop it here. But I just think he would have to either, one, retire. He asked out, which I don't think he's ever going to want to do. I think he's going to, like, the last team he's going to coach in the NFL, I think would be the Steelers, unless the Steelers actually fired him. And the Steelers have had 3 head coaches in their franchise's history. Chuck Noll, Bill Cowher, to Mike Tomlin. Like, the historic odds and just the past is going to show to us that the Steelers aren't going to move on. That's just what the probability shows. Mike Vrabel, like, I kind of want to say 20, 30 plus. Like, is that crazy? I mean, the Patriots did lose to the Bills last Sunday, but they're 11-3 in his first year with Drake May. Like, Ben Johnson's probably 20, 30 plus too. Like, I don't think Ben Johnson's ever going to go anywhere. Yeah, maybe I'm going to throw Ben Johnson in 20, 30 plus. I just feel like I don't know though. Like, Mike Vrabel, what he has that Ben Johnson doesn't has, or have, he has ties to the franchise too with New England. They don't like to move on from head coaches, obviously, even though thank God for them, they moved on from Gerard Mayo after 1 year to go to Mike Vrabel. And they get Vrabel, who was a very successful coach in Tennessee, who obviously regrets moving on from him. I think he's locked up a job till 2030. Nick Sirianni. You win the Super Bowl, you should be not even close, but I think fine for now. Like, the Eagles are going to make the playoffs this year. They're going to win the division this year. They're 9-5. I am recording this before their Saturday game against the Commanders. It's just like he was on the hot seat last year after like week 4, and then they end up winning the Super Bowl. I think he's fine for now, but if this team has a round 1 exit, I think he will still be their head coach next year. But if next year is like a back-to-back round 1 exit or underperforms, I feel like people may put him on the hot seat. We'll see. I think Kevin Patullo is probably out. Maybe that's just more of like the cutthroat part about Philadelphia. You guys can let me know. Pete Carroll, the seat is hot. Like, year 1 has been an absolute disaster. This team, I think, is the worst team in the NFL. It's them or the Titans when I'm watching them week in and week out. The Raiders are just a very tough watch offensively. Like, Geno Smith is back in the fold this week, sure. I mean, the offensive line is a disaster. Once again, this could be a John Spytek issue. It's probably a previous regime issue. But hey, they fired Chip Kelly halfway through his first year as an offensive coordinator. Yeah, I think his seat is hot. I think Raheem Morris' seat is hot as well. It was a big win for them last Thursday against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, or 2 Thursdays ago. But I feel like it's not gone well for Raheem Morris. With some of the other guys that were hired in his head coaching cycle, like with Harbaugh, and I think McDonald was in that cycle as well. It just feels like they've done a lot better of a job going forward. Sean McDermott, I mean, it wouldn't totally, I'm going to say he's fine for now because he's won a ton in Buffalo. They're 10-4. They have a really good chance at maybe winning the division this year. I mean, Patrick Mahomes is not in the playoffs. There's a chance Lamar Jackson's not in the playoffs. Joe Burrow's not going to be in the playoffs. Yeah, Sean McDermott, like this is the year for Buffalo to go to the Super Bowl. If they lose, I would say divisional round or earlier, gone. If they got blown out in the conference championship, gone. But for now, I think he's fine, but we could definitely get to hear if they have an early exit. Sean McVay, like he was the guy that I said has a job for life. Like he will coach, I think, in LA until he eventually retires. He's 11-4. He was the youngest head coach, brings them to a Super Bowl in 2018, wins a Super Bowl a couple years later, and has just won with like Matthew Stafford and Jared Goff. And this year their team looks amazing. I know there's still some flaws and they've had some bad losses this year, like not pulling the one out against Seattle. I mean, that 2-point conversion was so weird. Puka goes off in that game. They were dominating the game for the first like 3 quarters of it. I mean, losing to Carolina as well, but I do think Sean McVay, I would say he's the best coach in the NFL. I don't know if that's a hot take or not. Sean Payton, not even close. The only reason I'm not putting him 2030 is just because he's on the older side. So if I'm saying 5 more years from now, like sure, if he wants to coach till then, but he's old, so I don't know if he will be coaching in 5 years from now. So I'm going to put him in maybe 2030 plus. Like he's got that job, I think, locked up. Like the Broncos make the playoffs last year. I know they get blown up by Buffalo, but nobody expected them to make the playoffs. They do this year. They make it the 1 seed in the AFC. Shane Steichen as well. I don't think we're close. Going into the year, I think he was on the hot seat, but the fact that they look competent with Daniel Jones, they're 8-6. I mean, I don't think Phillip Rivers is bringing them to the playoffs. Like you could put him in fine for now, but I think like we all know how good he is as an offensive mind in this league, like being competent enough a couple years ago with Gardner Minshew. I know last year was not the best with Joe Flacco and Anthony Richardson, and who knows what Anthony Richardson's future is going to be in Indy. Who knows what Daniel Jones's future is going to be in Indy, but I don't think we're anywhere close to even Shane Steichen being in those conversations. Todd Bowles, oh man, I kind of want to put him on the hot seat. I don't know if they will, because I think the Buccaneers also don't like to be too reactionary, but they might not win the division this year. The Buccaneers are currently 7-7. Like this is the Panthers division possibly for the taking. One of these teams will make it. One of them won't. And I do think if Todd Bowles got let go at the end of the year, it wouldn't totally shock me. Dave Canales isn't there anymore. Liam Cohen isn't there anymore. The team has not looked good over the last few weeks. You could say that's maybe because of injuries, but he was not happy with this team after their Thursday night loss to Raheem Morris, and this one wouldn't totally shock me. Zach Taylor, I don't think it would totally shock me either. He went to a Super Bowl how many years ago, right? Like we're getting further away from that. Once again, I think this one could come back down on the front office and maybe the unwillingness to spend from ownership. They're 4-10 right now. Back-to-back years, Joe Burrow will not be playing in the playoffs, or excuse me, their 3rd year in a row not playing in the playoffs after making it to the conference championship game. This one won't totally shock me. If I had to guess, these 3 stay. But like I said, if I get that notification from Adam Schefter, I won't totally be shocked. So we have the 2 guys that are gone. I think these 5 coaches are on the hot seat. We have 3 that wouldn't totally shock me. We have these coaches. Most of them have won in this league. I mean, how many of these guys have Super Bowls? At least 1, 2, 3, 4 do. Dan Quinn was really good last year. I don't think he's going anywhere anytime soon, but who knows where Washington looks going forward. Sean McDermott, I feel like he's not been on the hot seat, but we've always brought it up because Buffalo has never been to the Super Bowl with Josh Allen. I don't think we're anywhere close with these guys getting even close, like on the hot seat. And these guys are, I think, are unfireable right now. You could throw Ben Johnson in 20-30 plus tier, and I'm cool with that as well. So that is going to be for me. I hope you guys did enjoy. If you did, I would appreciate you dropping a thumbs up. Let me know what you agree with or disagree with down below, and I'll catch y'all on the next one. Peace.